Every anon down in Fayetteville liked Christmas a lot, but the auntie, who lived southeast of Fayetteville, did not. The auntie hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be that his super chat had gone unread. It could be, perhaps, that his Oshi is dead. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his brain was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his chats tore his brain. He stood there on Christmas Eve, filled with disdain, starting up from his hole with a sour, seething frown at the lighted monitors high up in their town. For he knew every anon in Fayetteville above was busy now posting their Oshis with love, and they're buying their coffee. He judged with a jeer, tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled, his anti-palms nervously rubbing. I must find some way to keep Christmas from coming. For tomorrow I know all the anon girls and boys will post late and early. They'll post their great joys. And then, oh the noise. Oh the noise. Noise, noise, noise. Another thing that I hate. The noise, 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 noise. Then the talents, young and old, will sit down to stream. And they'll stream. And they'll stream, and they'll stream. They'll stream cute hen cans and red Christmas themes. Oh, the constant streams tear me at the seams. And then they'll do something I hate most of all. Every anon in Fayetteville, beta and baited, will post close together. Talent streams rolling, they'll watch in peace, make no shit posts, do no trolling, and they'll watch and they'll watch and they'll watch. And the more he seethed over this Christmas stream watch, the more the auntie thought this must be made a botch. Why, for 47 months I've antied it now. I must ruin this Christmas for them. But how? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The auntie got a wonderful schizo idea. Oh, I know just what to do. He began his vile gloat. I'll make a quick Auntie-Claus hat and a coat. He snickered and sneered. What a great handy trick. With this bag of tricks, I'll fool any dumb prick. All I need is a reindeer. The auntie dug around, but he lived in the south, where none could be found. Did that stop the auntie? Ha! He simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he grabbed a love bug, then he took some black thread, and he tied some small horns to the poor love bug's head. Then he loaded some bags and some flies to lug on a ramshackle sleigh, and hitched up old love bug. Then the auntie yelled, "Whore!" And the sleigh started its climb towards the homes where anons lay ninny for a time. The hours had long died, quiet snow filled the air. All anons were dreaming of their Oshis without care, when he stopped at the first tiny house on the square. This is the first place, the old Saint Auntie-Claus spit, as he climbed up the roof, sacks under his pit. Then he slid down the chimney, upping the ante. If Santa could do it, then so could the auntie. He got stuck not once, but twice. He was no real deal. Then he reached the fireplace, and turned on his heel. Towards little fee stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he smirked, are the first things to go. Then he drifted and danced with steps quiet yet swift around the whole room, pinching every last gift. Standees and bean plushies, keychains, hats, necklaces, doggies, notebooks, and desk mats. He stuffed them in sacks, then the auntie very nimbly stuffed the fat sacks one by one up the chimbley. He drifted to the icebox. He took Anon's treats. He took cookies, cream, even the old can of beets. Every morsel was gone as quick as a flash. Why, that auntie even raided the Faye's coffee stash. Then he stuffed all the treats up the chimney with glee. And now to stuff up the tree. The auntie eyed up the tree, preparing to grab it, when he heard a sound, like the squeak of a rabbit. He turned around fast and saw a small peepee. Little Peepa Pip, who was not more than 3. The auntie had been caught by this meek young poster, got out of bed because she felt too sober. She stared at the auntie and said,
Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But, you know, the auntie is a master of wit. So he came up with a false flag, lickety-split. Why, my sweet little Pip, old Saint Auntie Claus lied. An auntie had ruined all the lights on one side. So I'm taking it to my workshop, sweet Phoebe, to fix up this tree and help Christmas stay happy. And the child took the bait. Then he patted her head. He got her some moonshine and he sent her to bed. And when Peepa Pip went to bed with her hooch, the tree was up the chimney with a quick scooch. The last thing he took was the internet wire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing behind but a Docs-filled flyer. And the one speck of food left after that small chat was a crumb that was even too small for a rat. Then he did the same thing to the other Anon's flats, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Anon's rats. It was 1/4 dawn, all the Anons still abed, all Anons still in Amy, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the modems, the junk food, the ornaments, the booze, the artwork so lewd. 3,000 feet down the side of Pittoxet, he rode his load to the biggest hole to dump it. Oh, their Oshies hate them. He was gleefully gloating. They're finding out now there is no Christmas showing. They're just waking up, I know just what they'll do. Their brows will furrow for a minute or two. Then Anons and Fayetteville will cry, it was you. That's a noise, smirked the auntie, I simply must hear. So he paused, and he put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound reaching him down below. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared up at Fayetteville, the auntie's eyes opened wide. Then he shook. They were taking his hard work in stride. Every Anon up in Fayetteville, the big and the small, were discussing their Oshi with no strings at all. He hadn't ruined Christmas for them. It came. Somehow or other, it was Christmas all the same. And the auntie, with his ice-cold feet in the snow, stood seething and seething. How could it be so? It came without streams. It came without artworks. It came with trolling, baiting, and all Doc's works. And he seethed 3 hours, till his seether was sore. Then the auntie thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a stream. Maybe Oshi, perhaps, means more than it would seem. And what happened then? Well, in Fayetteville they say that the auntie's small brain grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his brain felt a little more whole, he whizzed with his load out of that dark, acrid hole. He rode into Fayetteville, he brought back their toys, he brought back the streams to the Anon girls and boys. He brought back their merch and their plushies and desk mats. He brought back their internet, their keychains and soft hats. He brought everything back, the coffee and the cream. And he himself, the auntie linked to the first stream.